Chairman. Zoe, we've been talking about this for a while. It seems to me they have launched their spring offensive now in northern and southern Afghanistan. They have hit Afghan bases. They've hit our base in Kandahar. They blew up the school with the girls, and and they canceled any future meetings indefinitely. Is that correct?
Thank you. I can't agree with everything that has just been postulated. I don't believe that they blew up the school. As I said in my prepared testimony, it's likely to be ISIS,
Right.
which is seeking to disrupt any potential peace process. And the Talibs have been fighting ISIS forcefully, which is a positive. With regard to the spring offensive, yes, the level of violence is too high. They did declare a ceasefire for Eid, which has ended. That was positive. The government reciprocated. With regard to negotiations, the leader of the group or the Taliban office in Doha visited with the Afghan negotiating team during Eid, and they are set to, according to what he said, to restart negotiations in the coming days after, as part of the group that is visiting Pakistan returns. There are several initiatives underway to
So I understand
accelerate.
you believe you will have another meeting in Doha.
That's what the Talib, the Mullah Baradar, the
Okay,
deputy leader
I don't know
of the
what
Taliban
leverage
said.
we really have over them anymore. That's my concern. And I know you've done the best job you can do. I want to read you, I get these texts from friends of mine, special forces guys. He says, this Afghan commando is like a little brother to me. 12 years he worked as an operator alongside Green Berets and SEAL Team 6. The Taliban know his name. If he doesn't get an SIV, he will be assassinated. This irresponsibly executed exit from Afghanistan will have dire consequences for many of our friends. In response to many of these, the chairman and I sent a letter to the secretary asking him to address this issue of special immigrant visas. I know this may be a little not quite your line of responsibility, but I would just take this opportunity to urge the administration to expedite, but I don't know how we can do it by September. And we may have to consider airlifting out of Bagram to a safer country like the UAE, Bahrain, or Kuwait, where we can process these claims. Otherwise, I'm concerned that his prediction is, and many predictions will come true, and these people will be slaughtered by the Taliban. With the limited time I have, and if you have a comment to that, I would appreciate it.
We share, of course, your concern. We are expanding our capacity in the region to expedite. But I also am, as I have said repeatedly, you and I have talked about it, we don't want to signal panic and the departure of all educated Afghans by worst casing and undermining the morale of the Afghan security forces. So this is a delicate, complicated balance that we have to keep. But we share, Ranking Member, your concern and the Chairman's concern, and we're
thank you. I got 1 minute.
expanding our capacity.
Ms. Freeman, I'm also worried about the embassy. We saw what happened in Saigon. We had Benghazi. I don't know the force protection level if it's adequate. Now, I've been talking to our colleagues on our Appropriations Committee about the Diplomatic Security Corps mission. Do we need more funding for the embassy? If the embassy fails, we have no presence in country at all. And your ability to carry out USAID's mission would not be possible. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, of course, on diplomatic security, I'd have to defer to the Department of State. USAID relies in Kabul on diplomatic security for our own security, and we would follow the directions of the Chief of Mission, whatever those were, with respect to our presence there. I I guess the one thing that I would comment on in terms of our ability and our partnership is that we have programs across the country that we implement with international organizations, Afghan organizations. All of those are in constant communication with our own team in Kabul. And we review and
I know my time's expired, but I know the process. If you don't have an embassy, you can't carry out your mission.
I would remind you that prior to the presence of the troops in Afghanistan, that we were implementing programs in Afghanistan.
Well, and hopefully that will continue. It'll be very dangerous.
Gentleman's time has expired. I now recognize Representative Brad Sherman of California for 5 minutes.
Sometimes a slogan is more powerful